So I got a comment asking about my switch to a flip phone. It's a subject that I find pretty cool, so I figured I'd talk about it. Just to preface, I've noticed that a lot of folks that talk about reverting to an older or simpler way of using technology say that this lifestyle isn't for everyone, just to ensure that they're not going to make some folks upset. And well, I'm not going to do that. Because I believe so strongly in the benefits of this thing, I'd recommend everyone use it, even if you're in areas that benefit more from smartphones. Now, I got a flip phone for 3 reasons. Firstly, it is extremely basic in function, and that's exactly what I needed at the time I got it, and definitely what a lot of other people need without realizing it, to the point of defying the possibility. And what I mean by this is that it is incredibly satisfying, at least on a personal level, but definitely deeper than that, I think, that the function of the device is stripped down to its essentials, that being pretty much just communication. You can call, save contacts, texts, and that's it. The rest of the functions extend to a very basic implementations of basic features. There's a tiny camera that takes 1600 by 1200 pictures and 360p videos, a notepad, a music player for a headphone jack, basic clock functions like alarms, and that's pretty much it. This allows me to use other devices for various things that do those things far better, like CD players for music, digital cameras for pictures and videos, and so on. Secondly, it is incredibly freeing from vice. Outside of the obvious NSFW avoidance, the other thing this device frees me from is the temptation of sloth. Doom scrolling is a terrible activity to partake in. There is not a single justifiable reason to do so, especially boredom. It apparently even increases the risk of dementia, so if you ever catch yourself scrolling mindlessly, remember that you are increasing the likelihood of becoming everywhere at the end of time in human form. Not a great place to wind up, I can assure you. This flip phone, meanwhile, cannot support external apps. It's very nice. The web browser can only get Google searching to work without a Wi-Fi connection, and even with Wi-Fi, any site that you could try to load is painfully slow and unwieldy, especially with a number pad for typing and a circle pad for mouse cursor movement. So, no Instagram Reels for you. Thirdly, purely personally, it allows me to stay much more disconnected from unhealthy internet addiction. Now the internet lives at the computer, where it belongs. Are there disadvantages? Yeah, sure. I tried applying for unemployment not too long ago, and that apparently is a process that is only digitized now if you want the most convenient path. I visited the website on the computer. I should have realized, considering how the orientation of the site was very obviously designed for smartphones. I did the facial recognition scan with the camera set up at my computer at least 3 times with different orientations of the camera, and it didn't work. I tried it on my wife's smartphone, and it didn't work. And after that, I got fed up with it and didn't bother. Fortunately for myself, I've managed to get the money up enough to keep my family afloat, but this experience alone has taught me that the world is startlingly reliant on modern infrastructure to such an extent that unemployment benefits, at least for straight white male me, are very difficult to acquire without this method. I don't even know if there's an office I can visit to fill out paper forms for that stuff, considering how nothing online indicated anything other than the facial recognition format. Something very funny about the lifestyle that changed as a result of the flip phone is that I frequently forget about it. Yes, in the big 26, I forget my phone. And I don't mean that in the way that a brain-rotted Nimrod forgets where they put their phone after 5 hours of doom scrolling, setting it down to do something, and then not remembering where it is after they finished their thing. I mean that because I am not attached to it, nor is it glued to me, I just forget where it goes. I answer a text, I put it down, I do various things for like a few hours at a time, and even though I live in a trailer, a very tiny space relative to plenty of other folks, I will semi-frequently tear the place apart just to find it on the charger for some stupid reason. Oh yeah, another cool thing. Unless you're on a phone call for 3 hours or non-stop texting someone, the battery on this thing does not ever die. And it goes from low battery to full charge in less than an hour if you've got, the right plug in the cable and all that. Something I observed recently, which makes the comment that inspired this video conveniently timed, is that my imagination has restarted. Now, that doesn't sound quite correct, since obviously I require a certain level of functional imagination to not just stay alive, but also to do stuff like, make 2 videos that got an immense amount of support. Appreciated very much, by the way. What I mean by this is that for the entirety of my life, I have been a very wildly imaginative kid. I do not say this to brag about myself, this is just the genuine reality. It got to a point where I would refuse to sleep at night because the stories I told myself in bed were just that compelling. Music stimulated this even more, hence why I have always had my best narrative ideas while listening to certain kinds of music. and also why I elected to become a musician, primarily a guitar player. Now, when I got my first smartphone, I didn't use it for the parasocial media to the extent folks do nowadays, and this was during COVID time, a time where people practically lived on parasocial media. Me, I stuck to a chat room in Google Hangouts that I had with several friends from online philosophy class at the time. I eventually left that chat group in 2023 due to personal conflicts internally and between members, and only then did I really fall down the scrolling rabbit hole. Around that time, too, my creativity took a nosedive, and it was in large part due to the phone sucking out pretty much all of my time when I wasn't doing school or working. Fast forward to around the time I got married, and I got a flip phone and transferred my number to it. Because the camera was still useful and some computer stuff still needed a QR code scanner device like SteamGuard, I kept the smartphone around, but the problem was that because it could still connect to Wi-Fi, I could still use it at home or bring it to anywhere I could get the Wi-Fi password for, and I would be essentially circumventing the entire reason why I got the flip phone in the first place. So I didn't destroy the phone, but I did throw it into a corner of the trailer that is very difficult to get to. If I ever need it again, it will still work, but it is so inconvenient to grab that I basically don't have it anymore. Fast forward to around this past week, and something really weird started happening to me. The stories started coming back. The song ideas started coming back. Even the energy to make videos on projects I'm trying to hurry up and get over with has been coming back. And it wasn't gradual either. I just woke up one day and my mind was full of creative energy that, because I was on vacation, but also because I hadn't had it for so long, so my general lifestyle wasn't designed to accommodate it, I couldn't put it anywhere. The energy was explosive, and even now that I'm back home and am trying to find more time to accommodate this creative flow, it's still overwhelming me. Just as a last couple of stories to describe the function of not having a smartphone, when I went to a concert for an electronic musician from Iowa, they only did QR codes for this little event, so I just took a picture of the QR code of the ticket when I bought it on the computer, and then I just had them scan the picture and it worked fine. You could probably email it to yourself and just transfer the PDF of the receipt to your then defunct smartphone if you had to. I would recommend keeping the smartphone on hand just as a scanner and a Wi-Fi device if you had to. As one more story, I was able to accomplish a honeymoon trip to Hawaii's island of Kauai back in December, and just connecting to public Wi-Fi, which was just fine insofar as security because I had everything removed from the phone from that point, so there was no sensitive data to grab. Just displaying my boarding pass QR code from there, from the offline smartphone, worked. I want to say, too, that I just screenshotted my boarding pass the day we left to come back home while we were still at the house so that I could have the Wi-Fi to do it, and then just showed them the code. I know people still print their codes on paper, and they'll gladly scan those, and it was really just a similar process. You could probably do that with concert tickets, too, and then just crumple the paper up in your pocket after the fact. It's really no big deal, and honestly, it's assisted me in life more than I can say. I actually pay attention more when I'm out and about because I'm not just letting all the time fly by just scrolling. It makes literally every aspect of life more enjoyable. Now, the hard part is dealing with the computer, but that's a topic for another video.